Hi, my name's Ryan, CEO of ApplicantPro with today's hiring tip. So my background is actually marketing, not hiring. And so unfortunately that means pretty much everything I talk about is how marketing is related to hiring or how hiring should be done differently by approaching it like a marketer. So to kind of go with that same concept, I believe in this kind of fundamental equation that HR is a marketer, the product they're marketing is their job or the opportunity to work for the organization, and the job seeker is the customer. So today I want to talk a little bit about that middle part. Your job and the opportunity to work for you is your product. So back in the day when I was little, when I was 3 years old, we moved up to midway up this kind of remote farming valley here in Utah, and I moved onto a dairy farm, and I spent the next, like 15 years growing up around cows and milking cows and feeding cows and all that good kind of stuff. If you know much about milk, you know that milk is a commodity. And what a commodity means is when you go to the grocery store, you pretty much buy whatever milk is cheapest and closest to you. So you might sometimes buy milk at the gas station because you're really hard up for some cold cereal. But most of the time you're picking the one that's cheapest. The downside of commodity is that it's all about price, which is a race down to the bottom. In hiring, you could reverse that. The downside of your job being just like everybody else is a race to increase pay, which no business wants to focus on. Now, if you take milk and you add some treats and some flavors to it, some eggs and some fat, some sugar, you end up with ice cream. Ice cream is not a commodity. Ice cream is a differentiated product category. You have all different kinds of ice cream and you have all different providers and different quality levels, right? I almost guarantee that you have your favorite type of ice cream, your favorite flavor, your favorite company to buy it from. I bet we could spend days arguing about whose cookies and cream is better, Dreyer's or Ben & Jerry's or just the Walmart brand of ice cream, right? But everybody has an opinion on ice cream because it's differentiated. It's not all the same like a commodity. Well, your job should be differentiated as well as your company, your benefits, and your perks. If you want to be successful marketing your product, then your product needs to stand out from the crowd, not be just like the crowd. If your product or your job seems just like everybody else's job, if your company is just like everybody else's company, then all you're going to be competing on is proximity, how close is the job to the job seeker, and pay. Are you paying 25 cents more per hour than the other options? If you want to get out of doing that, then quit being a commodity. Be a differentiated product. So what does that mean? There's a handful of things. Number one, you need to know and get to know your target job seeker, because when you go to create a product, it's not about you, the creator, it's about the potential customer. What is their pain? What are their goals? What do they want out of life? What are they looking for in a job, in an opportunity, in a company to work for? When you know that target, you can now become compelling, right? The first step, this is actually a framework for building products. The first one is differentiate. It's be unique. You want to be different than everybody else. Number two, you don't want to just be different to be different. You need to know your target audience and be different in ways that are compelling to them. Being compelling means that you solve their pain or you help them reach their goal. So you want to be compelling. Compelling just means that the target person reads your ad, learns about your job and says, oh my goodness, that is perfect for me. That will solve all my pain or that will help me obtain my goal. And finally, you want to be credible. You don't want to be an empty promise. You don't want to put lipstick on a pig. You want to be credible. And what that means is that you can back up your promises with real information that says it's true. Those are reviews, employee testimonials, case studies, anything you can think about from a product standpoint, referrals from an employer, whatever. Add credibility to your promise and your product. So again, just to review, if you want to stand out or if you want to hire more qualified people and attract more qualified people, you need to act like a marketer. The job seeker is the customer, and what you need to focus on is creating a great product. And that product is the job and opportunity to work for you. A great product comes down to four main things. Number one, be unique. You need to be different than everybody else. Number two, you need to understand your target audience and what their goals and pains and objectives are. Number three, you need to be credible by your product or your offering solving those pains and goals and issues. And finally, number four, you need to be credible. You need to have evidence that you're just not full of hot air, that the offering and promise that you're making them is true and valid, and that people just like them have had an experience with you and said it's good. I hope that this finds you well. If you have any questions about how to turn your job into a product, feel free to read our blog or hit us up, ask any question you want. We would love to hear your questions around this because I know this is a stretch for most companies and most HR people to evolve themselves into marketers. Otherwise, I hope that you found something useful today, that you actually go and take action on it and make a change that will improve your hiring process. Have a great day and good luck hiring.